Hello, good crowd. We are so honored. We are so fortunate. We are so lucky today. We have the president of the Intel Foundation with us, Pia Wilson-Body, an extraordinary leader in the social impact space.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Please support the sponsors who made this episode possible, including Johnson & Johnson's Caring Crowd and goodcrowd.school. Pia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Devin. I am honored to be here with you. I just think it's a wonderful platform for organizations like Intel to be able to share the good that we're doing in the community and, of course, around the globe, but not just Intel, but all the organizations. So kudos to you.
Well, thank you. You're very, very kind, Pia. I really appreciate you. Tell us about the focus that Intel has, and how are you trying to change the world?
Change it every day. But let me say this, as the president of the Intel Foundation, I have the awesome responsibility of really overseeing and managing Intel's philanthropic investments as well as our programs. And I always kind of go back to our founder, Robert Noyce, who said, don't be encumbered by history, but go off and do something wonderful. Really, for the past 20 years, we've been focused on advancing STEM education, and STEM meaning science, technology, engineering, and math, whether it's been offering professional development courses to 15 million teachers or providing access to technology to youth around the globe. And then more recently, sponsoring a number and supporting a number of young people to compete in science fairs. But if I bring it current day, we are really focused on broadening access of technology, skills, and experience to underserved communities and girls, because we want to ensure the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, technologists, you name it, are more diverse. So that kind of rounds out kind of the history of the foundation as well as our focus. But Devin, I would be remiss if I did not share with you how important our employees are to the Intel operation. Last year alone, and I'm so proud of this, 68,000, I want to get the number right, 68,000 of the 107,000 employees volunteered over 1 million hours. So 4,400 nonprofit organizations were able to benefit from that volunteer. So when I think about the foundation, I think about our employees being the catalyst to what we do and making social change.
Pia, as I think about the STEM education, I think we can all agree that that is a super important aspect of society, but it's really a problem for Intel in some ways more than for society. Mm-hmm. But when we think about making sure that girls, and especially children in underprivileged circumstances, including, especially without wanting to put too fine a point on it, African-American kids in
Hispanic,
urban situation.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even rural.
That's a social problem that really needs to be solved. Intel doesn't need to solve that. What are we doing? What are you doing to bring access to those kids that don't normally get access to STEM education?
Yeah, so I have said, and I will share this with you, I believe a zip code does not determine brilliance, but the zip code can determine access. And when I say access to the quality of life, a quality of education, you name it. So a young person should not be limited by where they live. And it's important to me, and as well as the Intel Foundation, that we do our part in equipping young people with those technology skills and experiences they need so they are prepared to participate in this global economy. And we're in a position to do so by leveraging our resources, mobilizing our employees, and investing in initiatives as well as programs that serve as that bridge to equity. And again, I think I said this earlier, my hope is that young people are not just consumers, but they're tech creators, innovators, as well as future entrepreneurs.
So what are some of the programs that you're funding, or what are some of the activities that your employees are engaged in to address this issue?
Yeah. So there's two that I'm going to highlight. One, we recently kicked off. We piloted a middle school girls initiative. It's called She Will Connect, and it's aimed at closing the STEM gender gap. Our goal is to increase the number of girls that are opting into STEM. I kind of like that, opting into STEM by the time that they reach high school. So we've piloted that program in a number of our sites, Arizona, California, Oregon, even Texas. And so we will be tracking their progress for the next 3 years. So that's one initiative that's underway. The second one is Future Skills. And we launched that, I want to say in 2017, matter of fact, with the governor of Nevada. He had this bright idea and said, hey, Intel, can you help us with youth employability? So our team got together along with some engineers across Intel and designed what we call Future Skills. It is a learning platform based on design thinking, whereby there are a number of what we call challenges: coding, learning how to fly a drone. AI is one challenge that we're adding. Life skills, just essential life skills or soft skills, as some might consider. So those are two initiatives that we're very proud of, but we will track the progress in years to come here.
As you, I look at you and look at the incredible power and influence you have, and wonder what you attribute your success to. How did you get to where you are in the halls of power in Portland and Silicon Valley? How did that happen?
Oh, Devin, you're taking me back to 1988. Oh, goodness. When I was fresh out of college, single, no responsibilities, and had plenty of time. But no, seriously, I served on the Youth Advisory Council of the United Negro College Fund, some might know UNCF, in Cleveland, Ohio. And I got very involved in the community and witnessed firsthand the inequality and the needs of underserved communities. And it was from that experience that I wanted to make a difference. So I'm fortunate enough to be in this position now to give a hand when I can and give back in meaningful ways. And so that's kind of my track. And I have either volunteered or been a part of service organizations for a number of years.
So did your experience at Spelman help prepare you for the career you have today?
Of course. Easy answer. Oh man, that's probably one of the best times in my life, other than now, of course. Yes, Spelman is near and dear to me. It prepared me in a way that I had an opportunity to meet girls from all across this great land and with different experiences. And at that time, we had a daycare center on campus, right? And we would go volunteer over to the daycare center. And of course, it was for the community. And if you know anything about Spelman, during that time, it was an the surrounding area, not Spelman. It was in an underserved community. So we got to see firsthand, number one, us reaching back to the community, but the students helping out to bring goodness to the community.
As you think about what you've accomplished at Intel, as you've worked in a variety of capacities around corporate citizenship and now running the foundation, what are you most proud of having accomplished?
So I'm proud of a couple of things. I'm proud of the fact that Intel has almost given close to $1 billion over a 10-year period to communities, and that we care. And so I take pride in that. On a personal basis, it goes back to having the opportunity to sit in the seat, not just as president, even when I was executive director, or even prior to that, diversity and education manager, and I was part of the foundation, being able to give back to communities that are in need. So I'm always happy, joyful to see how we are making an impact on others.
You've had a great position in which to learn. What's the most important lesson you've learned about effective corporate philanthropy?
Oh, so what I will tell you, an important lesson that I've learned on my life journey, and this applies to the foundation, you cannot do it alone. To truly make any impact, it takes collaboration. And I say that for the foundation, we can't do it alone. It takes collaborating across all sectors, industry, government, nonprofits, us working together, leveraging our strengths to tackle some of society's most pressing issues. I've witnessed the power of collective impact. Matter of fact, after the devastation in Puerto Rico caused by Hurricane Maria, Intel business units, our IT, our service corps, our sales and marketing group joined forces with one of our customers, and I have to call them out, Worldwide Technology, and with a team of volunteers from both organizations, they went down to Puerto Rico, and together, the operative word is together, they collectively stood up 30 schools in underserved communities. They provided 2,000 Intel Nooks. For those who don't know, mini computers, right, to the students, provided teacher training, and donated supplies. So I go back to what I initially said. Again, it takes industry, government agencies, and in this instance, educators, to really make a difference. And here's one of my taglines: to get together, we're just better. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Now, why is this work so important to you, Pia?
Oh, I will go back to what I said about zip code, right? I think every child should have an opportunity to tap their full potential. In any way that we can do that at Intel, I want to make certain that we're at the front and leading the charge.
Oh, that's powerful. Pia, what is your superpower?
I think usually I have something to say. Okay, I will answer that two ways, Devin. I will answer Intel's superpower, and Intel's superpower is passion. Employees are passionate about what they do. And they're just as passionate about volunteering in the community. I could not leave this interview without saying that. It is in their DNA. As I shared earlier, our employees volunteered 1 million hours around the world. And so the superpower for Intel is passion. Now, as for me, connectivity. is my superpower. Making connections. It comes naturally to me. I find great satisfaction in connecting people to one another or connecting people to opportunities. So I think that's a powerful and cool superpower.
That is a powerful and cool superpower. Pia, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you've got to run, but before you go, would you please take just 1 minute and tell everyone how they can learn more about the Intel Foundation and how they can connect with you?
Sure. To learn more about the Intel Foundation, go to intel.com/foundation. We're happy to address questions. We welcome feedback, of course, good feedback. No, seriously, we're always learning and growing. So thank you, Devin.
Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today, and we wish you every success, especially in your efforts to improve access to STEM education to young kids who desperately need that connection.
Hey, thank you, Devin, and thank you for the opportunity to share.
All righty, let's do some good.
At Caring Crowd, we believe everyone has the power to make a difference. Through our crowdfunding platform for community health, we empower passionate people to drive real change. Whether you work for a nonprofit organization, volunteer, or want to get involved for the first time, you can post a campaign on Caring Crowd. Join us, because caring is where change begins.
At goodcrowd.school, 5% of what you pay to learn how to make a difference goes to nonprofits working to eradicate extreme poverty, improve global health, and reverse climate change by 2045. So when you take a course to learn how to change the world, you do change the world. Get started at goodcrowd.school today. Thanks for tuning in to the Your Mark on the World show, the Social Impact Podcast. Please subscribe via YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or Spotify.